out here in Wisconsin, Kenosha. Just dropped a load for Amazon. So picked it up in Vegas, dropped it out here in Kenosha, and we're staying in the Midwest now. So finally in the Midwest. So that's good. Dropped it. Went to Planet Fitness. Got on the treadmill for an hour. And now we are at a quick trip out in Kenosha. If you've ever been out here, you probably know the one I'm talking about. Lots of bobtails. Lots of bobtails. I'm currently bobtail also, so I can't complain. They have bobtail parking. I am in a bobtail spot, so. But that's where we're at. It is blowing like no other right now. So there's a winter warning in effect and a what do you call it? Wind warning in effect. I think I took a screenshot on my phone here. Let me look. I did of the weather. So basically, it's blowing like 50 miles an hour right now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, you can't see it. There's a giant glare. There it is. Yeah. Red means don't drive. It's all red. So, got out here. Was looking forward to running some loads probably for JB Hunt for a little bit. I booked a block on Thursday in Minneapolis, so basically a week, roughly 6 days from today. And that's a bit of a problem because I can't move right now because of the wind. And then Minneapolis is going to get 2 feet of snow. And so is most of Wisconsin and most of Chicago. So that's a bit of a problem. Came out here, look forward to running Minneapolis, and I don't even think I can really get over there for a few days, which puts me in a bit of an awkward spot here. So I dropped the load, and it's like, okay, I was planning on trying some JB Hunt or whatever, just doing some of the other power only options to get over to Minneapolis if I couldn't find a load for Amazon. But I can't do any of that. And it's going to be like 3 days before the weather clears. So basically, Monday is when the weather is going to clear. And then I got to go over to Minneapolis to run that block on Thursday. Which, okay, I got to get over there, but what do I do in the meantime? So I don't know. I don't know if you could probably see the truck rocking. I don't know if the stabilizer on the camera is doing me any good right now, but it is rocking and rolling right now, so I can't move. But anyways, that's where we're at. Hello, Tommy Coy, and hello, Cheap Freight Hauler. So, yeah, can't move, and I am in an awkward spot because I don't want to sit for this long, but I also don't want to cancel the Minneapolis block that I booked for Thursday. What I want to do is I want to just grab a load from Chicago tomorrow and then just head south to Texas for like a few days and then come back up and then run some Minneapolis blocks. But I already booked a block on Thursday in Minneapolis, and I don't want to cancel it for fear of what would happen to the rating. I don't want to find that out. So that puts me in a bad spot. But weather doesn't care. Weather simply does not care. It's going to get terrible in Wisconsin and all the way to Minneapolis. It is clear tomorrow, and I'm half tempted just to bobtail from Chicago to Minneapolis. I don't think I'd be able to find a load to Minneapolis on such short notice. It is a Saturday tomorrow, so I don't think I'd be able to find anything, even with Amazon. I think it's pretty unlikely. And then I could just wake up in Minneapolis tomorrow, or the next, or Sunday, I guess, and then just sort of hunker down during the storm, and then maybe just run some local stuff around Minneapolis after the storm clears. That is an option, but I'd be bobtailing to Minneapolis, which brings up my next thought process here, which is the fuel price. It's out of control. It's completely out of control right now. So I'm at a Quick Trip, and it's $5 a gallon at this Quick Trip in Wisconsin. That's before you get a discount. So I think I would get it for like $5.75 or something like that, $5.60 maybe, somewhere in that neighborhood, or I mean $4.60 and somewhere in that neighborhood, which is a lot. So if I did bobtail, I wouldn't have to spend nearly as much on fuel. And there's another factor here. Is like, okay, when I do run the blocks in Minneapolis, when you run a block, you get fuel surcharge. so fuel prices won't really affect me. So that's another argument for just bobtailing straight to Minneapolis. It's about 300 miles from where I'm at right now. Um, so I might do that. And in theory, yeah, I should get a higher rate per mile because the fuel prices are high. But that's usually not how it goes. Like if fuel prices spike, like there's something called efficient market hypothesis, which basically it's the idea that, free markets are always fair, equal, and quickly adjust to any factors. But that actually doesn't occur. Usually what happens, like for instance, if a fuel price spikes real fast, oftentimes it takes like the market a couple weeks to raise the rates to match the fuel price. But I don't have a couple of weeks, right? I kind of need to get up there now. So that's kind of in the back of my mind where I might just bobtail to Minneapolis, even though I don't want to, because the fuel price, I'd save a lot of money on fuel if I just bobtailed up there. Um, so I don't know. I'm debating because if I just bobtail there, stop, hunker down during the storm, there's gonna get like Minneapolis is gonna get like 2 feet of snow. So I can't move once I'm there, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to move anyway because it's gonna come to Minneapolis and it's gonna hit all of Wisconsin, and then it's gonna get Chicago and a little bit of Iowa and whatnot. What I want, I can't, and I could go south and it could cancel the block. That is an option, but I don't want to destroy the rating. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a rough one. And I'm not sure what the best course of action is. I know if I bobtail to Minneapolis from Chicago, like I'm gonna have to explain that in the next video, and I know what the comments are gonna say, and I can already read them in my mind. So, not that I care about that, but it's like, okay, yeah, they're definitely gonna, the haters are definitely gonna have a ball with that one. But even if I were to find a bobtail load from Chicago to Minneapolis, the problem is like it would have to be a very specific load that I could pretty much only pick up tomorrow, and it would have to deliver on a Saturday as well, or else I would just get caught with it just in the snow. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a load tomorrow anyway. Amazon would be the only option to find a load, but I've been looking on the Amazon load board and they don't have anything. And it doesn't appear they have much. I can't I can't gauge the Amazon load board like where the volumes are coming out of because they don't have a tool. So I'm left just guessing. So like I'm in Chicago right now. You figure Chicago would be an excellent market for Amazon, but when I look at their load board, there's like nothing coming out of Chicago, which I don't understand. But that's kind of where we're at. So I don't know. Because with the DAT and the general market or whatever, you have resources that'll show you where the hot areas are. But with Amazon, it's like its own market, but there's no like market analysis tool that Amazon provides that I found. So it's just like I don't know where the best market is in terms of like just spot rates on Amazon. So that's where we're at. Sitting today, and I got to make a decision tomorrow as to what I should do. In terms of getting to Minneapolis or just canceling the block, but I don't really want to do that. And the fuel prices are killing me right now. So I just booked that one from Vegas to here. It was like 250 per mile for 40. It was about $4,400, and I think I spent, I don't know, like 1,500. I don't know. I spent a lot of money on fuel, so it's like the fuel prices haven't adjusted. Well, the rates haven't adjusted for the fuel prices, from what I'm guessing right now. It's gonna take a while. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on here. But thought I might just do this live stream. Had nothing better to do. It's completely ripping wind. It's like super sunny outside, so it's like nice. Like you can see the sunlight coming in right now. But if you step outside, it's like 50 degrees, and it's like 40 degrees, and it's like 50-mile-an-hour wind. So maybe I came to the Midwest about a week and a half too early. I knew that March could get snow. Obviously, it does get snow, but this one's a pretty bad one. So late in the winter, and I'm here just at the exact wrong time. And yeah, that's what's going on. So I posted those other videos over the last few weeks, and I'm actually getting slammed with comments right now, just on the app. and I can't really respond to all of them at this point. So I get multiple comments and multiple emails sent to me, and I'm like way behind because I'm just super far behind. So if you post a comment or you post a video or you send an email or whatever, I'm just really far behind right now because I posted the Amazon relay analysis about a month ago, and that one's still racking up the views. That's my best video of 2025, 6, whatever, in the last year. And then I post the summary video, which also is racking up views, and then a couple more videos which are doing okay. So basically, too many comments, too many emails, and I'm falling extremely far behind on everything right now. I could be responding to them right now, but I've decided to make another live stream. That's where we're at. So, yep. There's a ton of loads for JB Hunt right now in Chicago, and but none of them are going to Minneapolis from what I've seen. And I don't want to go on a wild goose chase to go get a trailer, which they usually make you do. So you have to go get a trailer, then you have to grab the load, then you go and get it. But a lot of the times they want you to bring the trailer back from Minneapolis, which I'm not willing to do. So I have to find a specific load, even if I find, even if I'm willing to take a load, I have to find a specific load from Chicago to Minneapolis and then drop the trailer in Minneapolis and not bring one back, which is not super common. I can find them, especially with Amazon. That's all they do, which is why they're kind of nice to work with as somebody who lives in the truck, because they just, here's your trailer, bye, I'm going to Planet Fitness. But that's not common. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a load over to Minneapolis right now, and I might just deadhead over there. I have never actually experienced like -6 degrees. I don't think. Have I ever experienced that with ripping wind? I don't think I have. Like, I've been in -2 degrees in Indiana. I've been in the negatives before, but I don't think I've ever been in like -6 degree, 2 feet of snow, blizzard conditions. I don't think I've ever been like that. So I might go over there, just bobtail tomorrow, whatever. I'll post a video. People will talk shit about it, but whatever. And then I might just do that. Just go to Mall of America, but it'll be covered in snow. And there's another factor here. It's if I get to Minneapolis, I wait out the storm passes. There should be a lot of built up freight on Monday that I can maybe do some local stuff around, because nobody's going to be hauling anything out of Minneapolis for the next like 3 days. So if I get up there, I wait there, wake up Monday, take some loads around, kind of local-ish. It might do okay as well. So that's definitely an argument for that. But yeah, 2 feet of snow coming. Okay. I thought I would not run into this at this point. I thought a little bit of snow would be fine, but 2 feet of snow with 50-mile-an-hour winds right now is not what I was expecting. So, yeah, that's the update. Fuel prices out of control, and they don't look like they're going to be coming down anytime soon from what the news has been saying. Weather's out of control, so I'm pretty much sitting for at least a day and maybe 2 or 3 days, which I did not want to do. And then running a block in Minneapolis on Thursday, and then the following week, I'll start running blocks constantly on Minneapolis. But I didn't want to take any more time off. Like, once I came out here, I was planning on just running hardcore until like October or something like that. But it looks like it's going to have to wait like 3 more days because I don't think there's a lot I can do other than cancel the block and go to Texas or something. So Cheap Freight says cancel the block and come south. It's nice down here. Yeah, I do want to do that, but I don't want to wreck the rating and not be able to book blocks for the following week. I don't know what canceling that block will do. I know like the more loads I have over the last 6 weeks, the less damage canceling that block will do, right? Because it's just volume. Like, if you cancel 1 out of 100 blocks, it's not that big of a deal. But if you cancel 1 out of 6 blocks you've taken, that could be a problem. And I've only ran 2 blocks, canceled 1 because of weather, got away with it. And then prior to that, I don't know, I maybe had 20 loads before that. So I don't have a lot of volume on the Amazon board right now, and I'm worrying that if I cancel that block, it's going to torpedo my plans for the next 6 weeks. So I might just deadhead bobtail to Minneapolis while I have a chance. Wake up Monday or Sunday, wait out the storm, and then just book some local stuff out of Minneapolis because they should have some good loads following that because it's going to be built up. So I don't have a better, I don't have a good plan right now because everything went everything went to shit because the weather is incredibly bad. Are you in Texas right now, cheap freight hauler? Yeah, that's where you run, like Texas and Louisiana. I just worked out, so I'm very thirsty. But I am at a quick trip. I do love the quick trips. You're in Georgia. It's produce season in Georgia, right? Onions. I think that's what's going on. The market in Georgia usually picks up around March and April. And I did run that last year in March and April. Um, but I don't think I'm going to do that this year. Obviously, I'm not planning on doing that this year. I don't like the South. I don't like it there. It is too hot. There's a lot of mountains. It's pretty condensed because of all the mountains. So, like, Atlanta and Tennessee and everything, they're in a bowl. And then, the roads just sort of meet there. So, there's not a lot of people, but because the way the mountains are, it's very condensed in certain areas. And I don't like it. And it's just really hot. Joey Jigs, what's up? The quick trip rotisserie chicken is the best. I have eaten an entire rotisserie chicken in one setting. It was really good, but then I looked at the calories and I went, I should not have done that. You'd think chicken wouldn't be that high in calorie, but because they just deep fry it, yeah, it's got like 3,000 calories or something. It was really good. So, no, yeah, okay, not quite onions yet in Georgia. I know they come soon. It's like April or something like that. Yeah, cheap freight says you can't look at the calories. I did one time. It's like 2,000. It's like 2,000 calories or 3,000 calories. But the chicken's fine, but they just deep fry it. That's all they do. They just deep fry that thing right in there. So, like, if I could do marijuana, the quick trip would be the way. Like, you just get baked and then you come to the quick trip, and then you just like that would be the way to do it. Just go get a workout in, get baked, come to the quick trip. I think that's a pretty good strategy there, honestly. But not that I've ever done marijuana. If you do marijuana, you can't drive this thing, right? But anyways, cheap showers here too. So they're only $12, so that's a good deal. Probably gonna go do that here in a second. Yeah. Cheap Freight says Vidalia onions, the watermelons will start closer to the 4th, April 4th. Okay. Vidalia onions, then watermelons will start closer to the 4th. Yeah. Some of the things I've been seeing, it looks like the South is already picking up pretty good. I know July 4th. Okay. I know that I was running there in April, and that was the place to be last year. And I did that for a couple of months before finally coming back to the Midwest. So that's that. And it's nice there in April as well. Good weather, good weather too. So it's not a bad place. That one guy, HP2 PB. I'm coming back out there next week after 1.5 years off. If I see you at the truck stop, it's going to be hard not to do a prank. Okay, fair enough. Coming to Minneapolis, are you saying? That one guy? Or the Midwest? Something like that. Cheap Rate Hauler says I'm running plants right now. Okay. You're dry van, right, Cheap Freight? But yeah, Cheap Freight. Dry van. Yep. As I'm looking at the power only options, I think so far I don't have any regrets about selling the trailer. It sold for a good price, and then when I look at the power only options, if I haul a load for JB Hunt, they usually have a loadout time where it's like, yeah, you can just use the trailer for like 2 weeks or whatever. It's like, well, there's my dry van trailer if I want one, So far, no regrets whatsoever about selling the trailer. So far, I mean, time will tell. Uh, the idea of putting it in storage, even like you offered for free, but I'm like, it would just be something I would have to fix again later on, and it would just kind of be there. I don't know. It was an old trailer, so it's like, yeah, I'm not sure about it. That one guy says he runs OTR, same as me, with Midwest, with occasional run to Texas. Yep. So we might run into each other. I'll be around Minneapolis, just running the Amazon blocks, seeing how it goes. So you might run into me. You might run into me. Chief Freight Hauler says going to finish this week at about 9,200. Yeah, I believe it. It's been really good. Taking all that time off in January and February. Well, it looks foolish now, just given how good the market was, but it's not normal, right? To have a January and February like that, that is just not normal. It's a very good sign, but it is most certainly not normal at all. And I just run, okay, January and February, weather's bad, market's bad, I need to take some time off. Okay, I'll just take some time off in January and February, no problem, right? Which is what I always do. And then it's just like things are just exploding. Like the contracted freight or the rate per mile, according to DAT, is actually higher than it was during peak season. So peak season came and went, and then the rates kept going up from peak season numbers, which is like that's not normal. So like it makes my decision to take time off look extremely foolish, but it's like I didn't see that coming, right? It's like what's going on here? And the best guess I have is, the illegal operations were running until peak season. They ran peak season, and then they started shutting down their operations because they just can't get away with it anymore. Cracking down on the community carriers, ELP violations. They're no longer doing like you can't just self-certify on a logbook, so you got to have a legitimate logbook. ICE at the truck stops, right? So I think what happened, these illegal operations started to shut down right after Christmas. They just ran Christmas and then shut down, which is a rational thing to do. But because that was a lot of capacity, this caused the rates to keep going up, which, okay, that's a good thing, but that's my personal theory on the matter. And hopefully it continues. I think right now, though, the fuel price is going to cockblock any profits we were looking at because, well, the fuel is at 508 right now, according on this quick trip right here, and that's in Wisconsin. So it's not like Wisconsin's a fairly cheap state normally for fuel. I mean, I was looking at fuel in California; it was like $6 something a gallon. It's like, okay, and I don't think that's going to go down for a while. I don't think the Iranians are they're not in a mood to negotiate right now. It would be my assessment here. So, and it only takes like one drone. Like you shoot a drone at a tanker. That's fuel. It's explosives. It's flammable. It doesn't take much to take out a tanker, right? That's kind of the problem. So, I just think I don't know. I feel like the strait there is going to be closed for a while, and that fuel price isn't going to go down for a while. That's just sort of that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know, but yeah. Kevin Fox says great channel. Enjoy the content. Thank you, Kevin. That one guy back with Landstar. I think that one guy. You're saying you are back with Landstar. Landstar's fine. So far, Landstar has been probably pound for pound the best position I held. Running at night transportation was okay, too. It actually didn't pay too badly, and you got access to their terminals, a lot of drop-in hooks, so it was okay, right? But Landstar was also okay. They both had their pros and cons. So, running my authority last year obviously was a disaster, and this year's got to get better. But so far, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose Landstar. versus what I'm doing right now. But this year, things are looking up a little bit. So we'll see, though. And if it doesn't work out, well, honestly, if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to go get a company job hauling fuel somewhere, home daily sort of thing. That would be my go-to at this point. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I had my best January this year. Yeah, like January was just bonkers. Like that's just crazy that it was that high. I don't. That's just not normal, right? So hopefully it continues, and it does look like it is continuing. But I just that was just that's weird, right? That's just totally weird. Normally rates drop by about 30% in January because peak season's gone, nobody's buying anything. Rates drop about 30%, and instead they went up by 30%, which is like, yeah. The only way to explain that is that carriers are leaving. There's capacity leaving, which that seems like the foreign carriers, the illegal operations, are leaving now, which is good, which is very good. So, okay, let's do it. Right, it is what it is. FYI, Eric Castro says enjoyed the most recent vlog. Thank you. Are you talking the one where I was driving, or the one where I did the editing and everything with the map and everything? Either way. Thank you though. That one guy, I heard Swift is doing a load board now. I have not checked. I have to do a lot of basically applications to these load boards. So the problem is if you do an application to a load board and then you don't use the load board, they tend to put your account like in like inactive status after a while. So I don't want to apply to like 15 different load boards, then just get put in an inactive status because I'm probably not going to use them for a while. I am going to try Amazon blocks in Minneapolis for a little while. So I don't know. I could apply to them, but I feel like they would just kick me off because I wouldn't be using them for a few months. So, you know. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I watched your end of year video. Mileage numbers looked great. Just need to work on getting expenses and revenue down, or expenses down and revenue up. Yeah, the mileage was fine. It was at 108,000, I think, which is fine enough. I would like a little bit more, but it's okay, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of. So wanted a little higher. The rate per mile was $1.90. That was after deadhead. If you took out deadhead, I was booking loads for like 210 per mile, which okay, it's not great, right? Um, but it is what it is. And then yeah, the expenses were just too high. The trailer cost me 15 grand. My insurance premiums were 25 grand, and then radiator blowing, and the truck itself cost me like another 15-ish grand in maintenance. So hopefully that goes down this year. This year my insurance is 20 grand, so about $5,000 less. I don't have the trailer, so that should help a lot. Yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, if I have another 2025 this year, I'm just done. I'm not going to keep going. Company driver, let's haul some fuel. That one guy says some drivers might start going to the oil fields. Yeah, that's one of the saving graces, I would say, about this whole thing is if fuel prices go up a lot and stay there, well, they're going to need a lot of truckers hauling sand and water to the oil fields. So that's, that'll pull capacity out. And you don't need to directly be an oil fuel trucker in order to benefit from that, right? It's, if they're pulling all of those drivers out, guys are going that way with it. The rates in the spot market, Amazon, JB Hunt will also increase in kind as well. So it might be fine, hopefully. FYI, Eric Castro says, yes, the driving luck. Yeah, I might do more of those. They're pretty easy. And, just giving my thoughts. So they tend to do pretty good. It's just a matter of, like, doing them, right? I also don't want to do them, like, I need to be on, like, a straight stretch where there's not a whole lot of traffic. I'm not going to do it, like, in the center of Chicago or something like that, obviously. So, or, like, LA. Like, I need to be on a straight stretch, kind of rural area for them to be, reasonable. So it takes a certain amount of circumstances to run them, so. BM Beach says, "How's the freight running today?" It's fine. The transmission, I've just written off the transmission noise as just it's a little bit older. I started running more local runs because of the Amazon Relay, the Amazon blocks, and I pretty much just like he couldn't find anything. The mechanic there looked extremely competent. He was like a 50-year-old dude. Looked like he'd been doing it for a while. He had like the mechanic hands. You know how when you hit your hands with a hammer, you know how like I haven't hit my hand with a hammer enough. So like you know how your fingers get like bigger. He had some very big fingers because he, knuckle, what do you call it, knuckle dragger, where you hit your knuckles a lot, right? Yeah, he had very big fingers. I noticed, so that tells me he's been doing it a while, and he just couldn't find anything. And it's just like, okay, right. At this point, yeah, the transmission is a little bit louder than it used to be, from what I can remember. It's probably just getting a little bit louder because it's getting a little bit older, and I can't I'm not gonna pull the thing out, have him look at it, and be like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with your transmission. That'll be $3,000. Like I'm not doing that, obviously. So I'm just gonna keep running it, and then when it blows up, I guess okay, now I'll put a new transmission in it. But it's still shifting just fine. There were like 2 times in the last 6 months where it was downshifting, and then as it was downshifting, I started to accelerate because traffic was going again, and it just failed to shift. So I'm like, all right. At this point, I've been actually like kind of babying it. So like, if there is a stop sign now, I come to a stop. Not that I wasn't necessarily doing that before, but yeah, now I really just come to a stop, let the transmission shift, and then go. Because I think when it starts to downshift, and then I try to go, it doesn't like that. So I'm just like, okay, that's the strategy at this point. So yeah, that's the update on the Freightliner SAS transmission. Everything else is going fine. Totally fine. So keep it that way. Joey Jigs selling the trailer ended up turning out pretty good. Yeah, so far I have no regrets about selling it. And now that I understand a little bit more about how you could just like power only, you could just take a trailer from JB Hunt, deliver their load, and then you got like a 7 to 10 day load out back. It's like, well, that seems like a pretty fine deal for me. So got a fella coming up beside me here. He probably doesn't want to be on camera. Just Tay says, I'm working a Dollar Tree account, make 100K. I want to get my own truck, but I don't know if it'll be worth it just to break even or make the same. Yeah, Just Tay, if you have an account that, pulls 100K, like it sounds like I would guess you're home quite often, right? If you're pulling 100K out of an account, I wouldn't. No, I would not do that. I might do better than that this year. I probably will, would be my guess, assuming everything goes reasonably well, right? But my authority is when you're active. That first year is going to be brutal, and it's just a lot of headache and a lot of risk. And if you're sitting there pulling in 100K, that's probably fine. That's probably fine, right? So I think you're doing just fine. Trucking west of Texas. Man, I'm out of Odessa. I'm out. Oh, I'm out of Midland. They're not going to take them out of here. They work. The cheap oil field has too much power out there. Oh, you're talking the foreign drivers out and the cheap. You're talking about the foreign drivers in the oil fields, right? I can see that. Yeah, they're probably just running like. I hear they just run like completely illegally, right? Like no insurance or anything, right? Yeah, they're probably not going anywhere out there, but that is a unique area there, I would say. If they have to go through Oklahoma, though, they ain't doing that. So, give me a second here. Get a glare. Getting a glare. All right. Chief rate hauler could be something as simple as your sound deafening in the cab is deteriorating. Yeah, I mean, it's just more. It's just more audible, right? It could be that. I mean, it could be a number of factors. I just noticed it was getting a little bit louder, a little bit more audible, and then there were a couple of times where it failed to shift. And one time it failed to shift pretty hard, right? Where it just like, I was on the 10, I was outside Kingman, traffic was coming to a stop because of the construction. I started slowing down, traffic started going, I floored it because I was starting to go up that hill right before the Vegas turn, right? You know, so I floored it, and it just oh shit, and then I had to like do some weird stuff to get it to shift, and that's when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have it checked on, and he didn't find anything, so I was like, well, okay, fair enough, nothing wrong, but. Sheep Phrase says, so you're hearing things you didn't hear in the past? No, I'm not hearing things I didn't hear in the past. I'm just, they seem to be a little bit more audible, right? And it might be in my head. It might be just because I'm running more local runs with Amazon blocks. So there's a lot more shifting. And maybe that's the reason why it just like sounds like it's louder because there's more shifting going on and I'm just like hearing it more often. That could also be it. With both feet. Hello from I-84 in Idaho. That's a nice area. I like running that. Hello there with both feet. Idaho's very nice. Joey Jiggs says the transmission problem might be a clutch issue if you're hearing grinding. I am not hearing grinding. So there's no grinding going on, and with the exception of the couple of times where it failed to shift, then yeah, there was a little bit of grinding because it failed to shift. But when it shifts, it's just, and it's just a little bit more audible. And it's just a little bit more audible. Nothing else to say, right? And I can't have him rip it out just to see if there's a problem. There's no way. With both feet. Hey, Cheap Feet Hauler. What's good? You're talking. All right, I'll let you guys have that talk there. Trucking West Texas says, yeah, they're all out here in junk trucks, and the brokers use them also. I do work with them all the time. Yeah. Dude, just call ICE. Seriously. Like, you can get on the ICE website and just, like, make an anonymous tip. I did it. Yeah, I did it. One time I was in Indiana, and there was a facility that I picked up from, and every single person there appeared to be an illegal immigrant. It was, well, let's see here. It was in Yoder, Indiana, which is Fort Wayne. I go in there. So, Yoder, Indiana, right? Pretty white. It's a pretty white area. Every single person in there was Hispanic, and nobody spoke English. That is either discriminatory hiring practices or a lot of illegal immigrants. They were clearly illegal immigrants. I did a nice report. Because, like, there was like 100 people in there, and they were all Hispanic, which I don't have a problem with if I were in a 100% Hispanic neighborhood. The problem is that was clearly discriminatory hiring practices at minimum, because obviously, but I guess we shouldn't talk about that on this channel because that's controversy, but I report them. All right. Overtime trucking. Do you have a warranty? No, I asked them, and I do not. The warranty is 2 years old, past due, so no warranty. I wish. Awesome Austin. Hello from I-80 eastbound, Wyoming, halfway across. Are you going through the wind right now? I think you're about to hit some insane wind. You're heading east, so are you tracking the wind on the 80 right now? I think you're going to. It's not bad right now, but okay, you just missed it. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, you got to get out of there by tomorrow. There was some awful wind going that way. All right. Cheap Freight says if you're going to be running Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois, definitely learn to fuel using the IFTA price. Yeah, I'll be running Minnesota a lot, so I got to figure out which one's best, whether it's going to be Minnesota or Wisconsin / Iowa, and I guess North and South Dakota as well a little bit. Yeah, they'll be in there as well, so I got to figure that one out. But Overtime says you should get an aftermath warranty from Truck Suite. Highly recommended. I did consider doing this, right? I did consider doing this. My truck has a lot of hours on it, because it was a former port service vehicle for Los Angeles, and that might not be a bad idea. Um, I might look into that. Yeah. Yeah, if I have a catastrophic problem, it will be expensive. Overtime trucking, yes, it will. I'm kind of aware of that. Another attitude is if I have a catastrophic problem, well, it's time to check out, go back to company. So, Chief Freight says, "What year is your truck?" DT12 should have 5-year, 750,000 miles. My truck is a 2020, so it is outside the warranty. My 2021 overtime trucking says my 2021 Peterbilt cracked engine catastrophic. They paid me $2,500 to scrap the 25,000 to scrap the truck. So you did not have a warranty, so you had to scrap the truck for 25K, is what you're saying? I could see that. With both feet, what year and how many miles? Again, it's a 2020 with 373,000 miles on it, but it has engine idle closer to probably 500,000 because of all of the city driving it did in Los Angeles. Okay, overtime trucking says, no, I had a warranty. They paid me instead of rebuilding it. Okay, so they just gave you 25 grand after your truck blew up, basically, is what you're saying. Interesting. I'll look into it. Maybe I'll look into it while I'm sitting. Yeah, okay. It's an interesting concept there. This truck could definitely have some issue like that because of all the hours on it. Yeah. Chief Reed Holler says you need to ride more. My 2023 has 361,000 on it. Yeah, see, I bought this from Night Transportation after the lease, so I was leasing it, and then I bought it. And when I was leasing it, I bought this truck with 110,000 miles on it for 60,000 because I bought it like at the absolute dead nuts bottom of the trucking prices. So the truck prices were just floored. They were absolutely at the floor. So I got a really good deal on it. It had 110,000 miles on it, but it had engine hours closer to like 200. So, you know, however you want to look at that. I've been running it a little over 100,000 every year. So it's, that's fine. But it came with 110,000 miles on it. I only paid 60 grand for it. So if there's one thing I did right, it's getting this truck for 60 grand. That was a steal in my opinion. So that's the one thing I did correctly here. 60 grand for a truck with 110,000 miles on it. Yeah, had some high engine hours, but still, that is where we're at. That's perfect. So, not to brag, but yeah. Just Jay says you did good in getting the truck. So far it's the one thing that has gone well. Yeah, the radiator blew, but okay, that's fine. Yeah, it happens, right? But so far this thing has been very reliable. So that's the one thing that has gone very good over the last couple of years. This truck, it's doing okay, and served me well living in it. I got to think like every time I explore a home daily job, right? Like what do you call it? Trying to say here. Like if I have a home daily job and I'm like a bobtail, right? Or a day cab. Well, I got to get a car, I got to get a house, I got to get insurance, I got to get all that, which is going to cost me probably at least $2,000 a month plus like initial cost, which we'll ignore that. It's going to be like 2 grand a month for all of that. Which, okay, I'm willing to do, but right now I don't have that. So that's another thing just keeping me in is the fact that I just don't have a house or a car or anything, and it is extremely nice to not have any of that, to not have to pay for any of that, right? So I did think about a camper van. So like if I just get a camper van, that would be a way to avoid all that. But yeah. Okay. Overtime says definitely look into truck suite warranty, $8,000 for a 2-year, $250,000 warranty. That's tempting. I'm guessing I have to pay all of that up front, so I would need to cough up 8 grand, right, for that warranty. Yeah, that might be worth it. 250,000. That would leave me to 600,000 miles. Yeah, that's probably when it's going to blow up. So I will definitely look into an extended warranty. It might be a good idea, especially with the amount of hours I have on this thing. With both feet, I buy a premium 2000. Probably costs you 15 to 18,000 with good coverage for a 3-year, 300,000 miles. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to look into the warranties. Yeah, it's probably it's not a mistake to do that. Yeah. Just Jace, I just shut down. This wind in Ohio is no joke right now. Trucks are flipping left and right. Yeah, in Chicago, it's just as bad. The wind right now in Chicago, you guys can't see it because there's no trees or anything, but like it's really bad. So there's no moving right now. Can't move right now. I do have an opportunity to bobtail to Minneapolis tomorrow. Sit there in the storm, wait it out, and wake up on Monday. But that would require me to bobtail to Minneapolis tomorrow, which is not something I would do without thinking about it. So I'm going to sleep on it. I may just go ahead and bobtail to Minneapolis and just wait out that storm in Minneapolis. 2 feet of snow coming. They'll clear it. By Monday, it should be clear. Do some local running around the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and then be back in Minneapolis on Thursday for the block. But I would have to bobtail to Minneapolis, which is like 300 miles from Chicago. So it's like, I don't know. But the wind is really bad. Awesome, Austin. Planning on any preventative maintenance this year? I mean, I just do the basics. I mean, yes. Already did some. Probably should get an overhead done. I just had my differential replaced. I mean, what do you mean by PM? Like big PM? What are you talking about? Obviously, I get my oil changed every 25,000 miles, give or take. So, yeah. Justin J, you can go to Crete and Shafter and make what I made last year. Probably, almost certainly. I would at this point. I would very heavily lean toward a home daily tanker job. So I just go get a tanker. I already got hazmat. I just need to go get tanker and doubles and triples, and then should be fine. Hauling for Quick Trip is actually appealing. They do that. So Quick Trip or maybe Casey's. All of that seems very appealing. So Kevin Fox, you ever look into Dot Foods as a company driver? Those dudes deliver to my work and all seem to love it. Seems like Monday, Friday, or Sunday, Thursday. Drivers say they make 110,000 as company drivers. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Like, um, I'm sure they do. I mean, I have a lot of options. That's one of the things that, like, I know I have a ton of options right now. There's Dot, there's Menards as the owner operator company. There's tanker fuel hauling. I can maybe go get some oversized. Just learn how to do oversized. What I'm looking for at this point would probably be like a home daily thing, which tanker fuel tends to do that, and it tends to be pretty good, pay pretty good. So that is where I would lean. Just day cab, home daily, tanker fuel hauling somewhere, doing that. That seems most appealing to me at this point. So Overtime says I can finance he says you can finance, as in you can finance the uh, warranty, which, okay. I will certainly think about that. It is not a bad idea at all. It was something when I started having these transmission issues, it was something I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I should do that. But would it cover the transmission? Like if the transmission blew up, would it cover that? Or does it just cover it if you like if the engine blows up, right? I would have to look at that. I would want it to like cover the transmission at this point. So Bullhead City, DC is where they're out of. Kevin Fox? What do you mean Bullhead City, DC? And who are you talking about? You lost me there. Oh, Dot Foods. Dot Foods. Bullhead City. Do you mean Arizona? Bullhead City, Arizona? You said DC. Have several across the country. Dot Foods. Yeah, I've seen them all over the place. I think you meant Bullhead City, Arizona, is what you meant there. I think. Clayton Blunt says, "Can I get a Hoya, Haya? I'm not sure how to say it, but Hoya." Okay. 22 Astoria says, "Hi, old man." Okay, that name makes me. Who is that? Hold on. Okay. So I don't want to. 22 Astoria, I see your comment there, and I think I know you just based on your name, but I don't want to. 22 Astoria, I completely see you there, but I'm not sure who that name implies because I can't zoom in on your name on the picture there. So I do see that comment though. How are you? I think I know who that is, but I don't want to say it because it's somebody I personally know. Nope. All right, all right. I'm falling behind on comments here. Justin J. Dot is touch freight though. Everyone doesn't want to touch freight. They're a good company though. Oh, so you got to unload it. That's fine. Might unload it. I would prefer tanker hauling. Like you just get out, hook up the things, hit the lever, drop the fuel, stop the lever, throw it back on there, drive to your next stop. That seems fine to me. Overtime Trucking says yes, covers all major components. Okay. Turbo transmission, differential, driveline, engine, and emission systems. Okay, that's interesting. I'll definitely have to look. I got to look into it. I haven't done it yet, so. Kevin Fox says, yeah, Bullhead City. Yeah, I figured Bullhead City, Arizona. It's the only Bullhead City I know of. Clayton Blunt says, that was perfect. Glad you liked it. Kevin Fox, that's where the drivers I see are out of. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, I figured you meant Bullhead City, Arizona. There's only one Bullhead City from my understanding. Clayton Blunt, what did you do in the Army? I did 14 years as a carpenter in the Air Force, served with Army engineers a lot. I was in the Marine Corps, and I was a captain. Well, I was a lieutenant, and then I picked up captain while I was on terminal leave. So if I go back in, I would be a captain, and I was a communication officer. Radios, computers, networks, VSATs, everything, and I did not like it. So if I know the next question is, why did you get out? It's because I did not like it. I did not like that job. I just didn't like it at all. So that's why I got out, and I did not pursue IT after that, obviously, because I did not like it. But I only served 4 years, so I was ROTC. So I did ROTC, commissioned, did 4 years, and then got out. But it was the Marine Corps. How do you handle the physical address requirements for a CDL? Do you rent a mailbox at the USPS? I use a family member's house. That's about as far as I'm willing to go with it. Kevin Fox, DOT has no touch drivers as well. They don't make what touch drivers do, 95K. So you guys are talking about DOT. When I first got in, I thought that was Department of Transportation, by the way. So I thought Department of Transportation had their own like trucking companies for some reason, maybe for like what do you call it? Road maintenance. So that's what I originally thought that meant before I realized, oh no, that's like the candy, right? It's like the candy, but. Clayton Blunt says, I don't blame you. I had enough after 14 years. Yeah, why didn't you? Only 14. I mean, man, you got to do the last 6. What? I mean, you got to do the last 6. Did you get anything for that? I mean, you got to do the last 6, man. You got to just slog it out there. Just Jay says, I can relate what you said in a previous video. I only switched to dedicated so I could get some kind of personal life. Yeah, and I don't mind it right now, right? This is okay. I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too, where I do the owner operator thing, choose my schedule, do all that. But I'm also on like a kind of home daily schedule where I can use the truck and kind of bobtail where I want. That's another reason that I've said I would like to check out the Amazon blocks, right? Because you just do the 2 days, and then you're off, and then I can take this bobtail wherever I want, do whatever I want, which is super nice, and that allows for excellent work-life balance, and it seems to pay okay, especially in Minneapolis, so that's what I'm doing. Ed Mel, I got stopped in Indianapolis for passing some trucks in the 2 right lanes. Literally passed one vehicle and got a warning and some kind of violation. Not exactly sure what it is. No fine. Huh. Yeah. Interesting. So you just got a CSA violation, sounds like, and no fine. I would have preferred the fine, to be honest. Yeah. Censored every day says I was in for 6 years and got out. I didn't like it either. Yeah. Yeah. It just the job itself and then like the rigid kind of politics of it. Like I didn't like it, right? Like yes sir, no sir, which okay, yeah, I get it, but um, I just didn't like the rigidity of it. So yeah, and I didn't like my job at all. I hated that job. I hated that comm job. I just did not like it. So I got out. Clayton Blunt, I got full custody of my daughter around the end. Not feasible to be in it all. Got out in the middle of contract I was on. Yeah, I can understand. I can understand where you got out. Yeah. I don't blame you one bit. Just Jay, do you need to make 100K or 250K, or do you just want to have higher income for personal reasons? I mean, like my floor is like 50,000 to be honest. Like if I live in the truck, yeah, it's like I only need to make like 50K to survive, which is why I was able to survive last year because I have like no, yeah, it's just me. Obviously, like, uh, yeah, it's like a good question. What would I need to make in order for this to be worth it to me? Um, like if I am running as an owner operator and I'm able to set my schedule and like let's say Minneapolis where I can kind of home every other day sort of thing, home every other day. Like I would be fine with probably 120. Yeah, if my net was 120, I might be okay with that because 20K would be like truck replacement, right? That would be the truck replacement cost, and then 100,000. That's fine. I'm socking away a bunch of cash while socking away more cash for a truck replacement cost. Setting my own schedule, able to bobtail around. I don't have a house. I don't have a car, so I'm saving a ton of money. So that's part of my like my rationale here. I don't need as much because I can live in this vehicle. Living in the vehicle is a huge advantage for me. So that's why I can go with a little bit less than most owner operators who have a house and have a car or everything. The fact that I can live in this vehicle is a huge advantage, and that means I'll take a little bit less. Not last year less. I'm not doing that again. But a little bit less than most guys will accept because I live in the vehicle, and if I'm able to bobtail around to Planet Fitness or to an MMA gym or wherever, that is such a huge advantage for me and saves me such just a huge amount of money that it's something I have to take into account. So to answer your question, I guess like 120 would be where I would need to be, somewhere in that range, I would guess, in order for this to be like worth it, assuming I could have a reasonable home daily life. Censored every day, you could buy 1 acre of land, a cheap camper, and you would be set. Yes, I can. And that is my go-to plan, actually. That is actually my go-to plan. Like I'm using Minneapolis as the example, right? Where I kind of run a block, maybe run a block, take a day off, run a block, take a day off, run a block, take a day off. And then on the day off, I just bobtailed to my camper house, whatever, right? And then just have like an acre of land there or whatever. And then that's just what I do. And if if I ever find a lady, well then hey, here's my acre of land. There's no house on it yet. Maybe eventually work into that, but that's just sort of like what you just said there is you and me. What's it saying? Great minds think alike. That's definitely something I'm considering. Ben Tanja, like it or not, high oil prices stimulate the economy. Trump said it himself. Yeah, I mean it's not good for us right now in the short term. We'll see how it goes. We have a ton of oil. Like the shale thing is going to explode, so we'll see. I mean, if it kicks out all the foreign drivers, it's a win, right? That fuel price can go to $7 a gallon, but if all the foreign drivers get kicked out while the fuel price goes to $7 a gallon, I think the rates will keep going up and up and up, and it's a win for truckers at least. So we'll see. Over time, glad your insurance is down. $2,500 a month is not fun. Yeah, that was rough. I was $2,200 a month, and then I increased my coverage to get access to Amazon Relay at the end of the coverage period, so it was about 2,500, and then I switched to Great West, and now it's 1,800. So that's a lot better. Cheap freight hauler, slightly higher oil prices, not stupidly high oil prices. When people start pulling all extra income into the gas tank, it will hurt the economy. Yeah, we're going to have a problem if these fuel prices stay that high for that long. I mean, in terms of truck driving, I mean, if they kick out the drivers, it won't really matter for us. If they kick out these foreign drivers, it won't matter because that's going to cause the rates to keep going up, right? And they keep going up. So for us, it won't matter as much. But yeah, I don't want to see these fuel prices as high. 508 right now. I'm looking at 508 in Wisconsin. Not exactly an expensive state, right? So yeah, the fuel prices need to come down. But I don't think the Iranians are in any mood to negotiate right now. To be honest with you, like, well, we already blew up everything. I got the sun coming down on me, but we already blew up everything. But like what? We already killed half their leaders, so it's like I don't know. It could stay this way for a while. I'm hoping not. Yeah. Ed Mel says, "What's up with the snow? I heard was coming up there." Yeah. So I started the live stream talking about that. Today it is ripping wind, and then for the next 2.5 days it's going to be dumping snow. Tomorrow I have a slight break in the weather. I am currently in Milwaukee. I could just bobtail straight to Minneapolis, avoid the extremely high fuel prices I would have to pay with the trailer attached, and get a good fuel price. Stop in Minneapolis, wait out the storm 2 days in Minneapolis, wake up Monday and Tuesday, do some local runs in the Minneapolis area, and then I have a block on Thursday, and then start running blocks like that. But this would basically require me to deadhead, bobtail is a better word, to bobtail from Chicago to Minneapolis before the storm hits, and then wait it out there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do at this point, so I'm going to sleep on it. I'm leaning toward just bobtailing straight to Minneapolis and waiting out the storm in Minneapolis. That way I wake up after the storm is over. I should be able to get some pretty good rates on some local runs because they'll have a backlog. And I should avoid the insanely high fuel prices to get up there. And once I start running the blocks, I'll get fuel surcharge, so the fuel price doesn't really matter. I don't know, though. I'm still debating. Eric Kurtz. Hi. Hello, Eric Kurtz. Bentanja. I picked up a load of non-hazmat oil in Arkansas this morning, running up to North Dakota oil field over there. Yeah, that's probably going to be a lot. Those things are probably turning on right now. All that shale. So basically North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas are going to be going for it. Ed Mel, are they going to be drilling for oil more than usual or something? I think the wells are already drilled for the most part. It's just a matter of whether they they can just sort of turn them on, I think, right? Because I think a lot of the shale wells are drilled, and they don't run them unless fuel prices are at a certain point, which they are most certainly at that point now. I think that's how it goes. I'm not an oil expert, though. Andrew Young says rates are projected to go up this year. Fuel prices will go down in 3 months or so, I think. I think in 3 months fuel prices will be stabilized, but I think my guess is for at least a month we're going to be looking at $5-6 a gallon fuel. I don't see the Iranians negotiating for a while. I don't see that occurring at this point. I just don't see that occurring at this point. So, Los Sanchez video where he was trying to contact you. Oh, hey, did you get in contact with Pinoy Trucking? I seen a video where he was trying to contact you. No, I don't know who this person is. He did make a video out of nowhere. Good for him. I don't know who this person is. People keep mentioning him. I did watch the video, which I wish I wouldn't have. My position here is I don't know who that guy is, so I will not take advice from him. He did not reach out before he did that. He did not, hey, can I give you tips? He just made a video, and I'm just like, Okay? Like, it was a very strange thing, in my view. I don't know who that person is, so I will not take advice from them. That is my position. Bentonja, gas was 125 in 1980. That's $1.25 in today's money. Is it? Huh. Yeah, that's a good point. Uh, Bentonja, wasn't that from the energy crisis? Yeah, I think $1.25 was when Saudi Arabia um, said no more oil for us. Jamie Villa, you will pass ELP. You will pass ELP, haha. I think so. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I speak English real good, real well. MCMJ, they're still drilling. Go look at Baker Hughes rig count for the U.S. I think it's something like 550 rigs. Probably half of them are drilling for shale oil. Yeah. Yeah, I think we got a lot of oil. It's just a matter of getting it out of the ground quickly and efficiently. That's kind of our problem. See, the Saudis can just like, they got a knob where they can just turn it up or turn it down. For us, we have to like, oh, oil prices are good. Get the trucks over there. Get the sand over there. Get the water over there. Start drilling. Pull it out. Okay, great. Send it over to the refinery. Refine it. Great. Put it back in the system. Great. And it's like weeks later, months later, where things start finally picking back up. Whereas the Saudis can just sort of, turn it on or turn it off, right? They got the big facility. But with the Strait of Hormuz closed, it's like, well, that's like 20%, I think, of the oil out there. Um, so that's that. All right. Bentanja, 525 in today's money. Yeah, that was during the oil crisis, though, wasn't it? When the Saudis said no more oil for the U.S. because we were supporting Israel. I think that's what they did there. So, Chief Rate Hauler, anybody watching Landman? I am not. I am not. Censored every day. $98 a barrel of oil right now. Yeah. 98 bucks. It was, what was it, like 60 bucks 2 weeks ago? So it went up by about 50%. And looking at the price right now, yeah, it's about right. So it's nice because I got a view of the Quick Trip fuel price right now. So I can look right at it right now. $3.39 for gas and $5.08 for diesel. It's about $3 a couple weeks ago. So it's up an insane amount. But for those of you who turned in just now, that's actually another part of the reason why I'm thinking about just bobtailing to Minneapolis, because I'm not sure I'll get a rate that is decent enough to offset that fuel price right there. So if I bobtail, I save a bunch of money on fuel. So, and yeah, that's about it. But that's about it. Probably going to go to Minneapolis tomorrow, just bobtail. I don't particularly see a better option at the moment. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a load tomorrow morning on Saturday that is a drop-in hook, where just a drop, where I pick it up in Chicago and then drop it in Minneapolis. And then, yeah, I just don't think I'm going to be able to find that. And even if I do find it, it's probably not going to pay too well, given how much fuel I'm going to burn. And then I also just have to deal with the weather that's coming in the next few days. So I might just bobtail to Minneapolis tomorrow. So I don't think there's a much better option. So Cheap Freight Hauler says, do you have a fuel card? Am I still using the factoring company card? I do have two fuel cards. I have the factoring company fuel card, and I also have TCS fuel card. TCS fuel card has fine discounts at Petro. This isn't a shill, by the way. I'm just telling you what I'm using. I don't get paid anything if you go use TCS. But I have a TCS fuel card, and they get good discounts at Petros, TAs, Mavericks. And specifically, I grabbed them so I can get fuel discounts at the quick trips, which they do have good fuel discounts at the quick trips. And I knew I was going to be running Minneapolis, so that's why I actually started using this card. I always had them, but I was using the OTR Solutions fuel card. They're also fine, but they did not have discounts at the quick trips, and I realized I was probably going to want quick trip discounts. So right now the fuel price at this quick trip is 508. I think I was going to pay something like 540 or 550, maybe 560 with my fuel card. So that's yes, I do have a fuel card. I have two, but I've been using the TCS fuel card lately, and it seems to be fine. Um, Fine enough. I don't get any discounts at Love's or the Pilot and Flying J's, and I have yet to find a card that gets discounts on all of those places. So, but I'm not too worried about it. The TAs and the quick trips are fine. My go-to in Minnesota and Wisconsin is the quick trips. So, check out Mudflap and 10-4 in that area. Yeah, I think I have a Mudflap account, but when I looked at their discounts, they weren't any, like, it wasn't any better than like TCS. And honestly, like, I could sit there and like have 5 different fuel cards and then look at each 5 different discounts every single time I fuel up, and yeah, maybe I'll get like a 5 cent discount on the fuel up from time to time. I'll be honest, I just don't think that's worth the time and energy and mental effort to get like a 5 cent discount every now and then. Um, a lot of the discounts are uniform across cards, so that's just sort of my opinion on it. Yes, I would save a little bit, but I'm not. I think not a whole lot. So, Abe Psalm looking to hauling cryogenic shorter runs pay more. I think you or somebody else has mentioned this, and it is something I will definitely consider. So, with both feet, I thought it was Blue Dot because of their background on the logo. Thought it was a Blue Dot because of the background on the logo. I'm not sure. Like that's the candy one, right? The dot, like the candy. I've always thought that the dot trucks I was seeing. At first, I thought it was DOT, but then I thought it was always like the dot candies. That's a candy company, right? It's a candy company, right? I mean, they have reefers. It's candy, right? Leo Sanchez says California is at 650. I believe that. I just came from there a little while ago. That is okay. You guys have fun with that one. That's another reason why I wanted to get out of the West Coast. I'm not. I'm not paying that. Like even Vegas was like, I think it was like 480 or something like that after my discount. So like, I think it was over $5 a gallon on the fuel price, but then I got a discount and I paid like 480 or something crazy like this. It's like this is. It's too. Yeah. Andrew Young says siphon gas from the truck next to you. There's a lot of foreign drivers at this particular truck stop. The Amazon facility is just down the road. So, I dropped it at the Amazon facility, came here, and there's bobtails everywhere because they're also Amazon drivers. And well, I don't think they would pass an ELP. A lot of them I don't think will pass an ELP. I would like to think I'm seeing less of them, though, but maybe this is confirmation bias. At this particular truck stop, there's a lot of them, but I would like to think I am seeing less of them. So, Chief Retailer Dot Foods is a food company. Yeah, they do the Dot candies, right? It's the Dot candies. I never liked them. They're like gummy bears, but I think that's what they are. But that's my understanding. But guys, I'm about to end the stream. It's been going a while. Gonna go take a shower and then probably go to bed. So yeah, probably just gonna go ahead and bobtail up to Minneapolis tomorrow. Beat the storm. Wait out the storm in Minneapolis. Experience 2 feet of snow and -6-degree weather with wind. Wake up Monday/Tuesday when the storm passes. Do some local running around Minneapolis. And then run the block on Thursday and then start running blocks pretty much over and over again in Minneapolis until it doesn't work out or isn't working out, and see where we're at from there. But I think that's the plan. Just go ahead and bobtail up to Minneapolis tomorrow and beat the storm. Welcome to Minnesota. Yeah, I'll head up there, but I was hoping to not run into this. I thought if I got here mid-March, late March, I would not run into this, but I've run face first into it. So I'm probably just going to sit for a couple of days and wait for this to pass. So yeah, cheap freight hauler says 60s and 70s down here. Yep, I was in Vegas and it was like 70, but I thought it would not be this bad up here. But there's just another storm coming, and just gonna wait it out. Yeah, 80s in Florida. Yep, yep, yep. I came here a week early. I should have waited one more week. I should have ran another week. I should have ran another week of blocks in Vegas or whatever, um, before I came here. But here we are. So I'm probably just gonna sit for a little while. But all right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll post. I almost surely post a weekly video while I'm sitting in the snow in the next day or two. So be up for that. That's about it. See you guys in the next one. All right.